Could working from home make the world a better place? The environmental and psychological benefits of telecommuting are starting to become known due to COVID-19. The world of work has been transformed in a surprisingly short period of time. Seemingly overnight, millions of office workers were sent home with barely enough time to turn off their computers or pack up their personal belongings. Now that the telecommuting revolution is in full swing, some have begun to wonder what comes next. Environmentalists in particular have looked at the current trend toward telecommuting and at-home work as a golden opportunity, one that could usher in a new age of green cities, low carbon emissions, and more communal way of life. Here are just a few of the ways telecommuting could help make the world a better and more sustainable place to live. Less driving means fewer carbon emissions. The biggest benefit of telecommuting is also the most obvious. With fewer cars on the road every day, carbon emissions will be greatly reduced, and that could help to reverse some of the environmental damage that has already been done. The results are clear to see. The before and after pictures of the sky over Los Angeles speaks for themselves, and these photos echo the changes taking place in hundreds of urban centers across the world. A reduction in the number of miles driven could also cause households to rethink their needs for a second or third vehicle. With one or both spouses working from home, that extra car in the driveway is likely to be viewed as an unnecessary burden rather than an absolute necessity. Employees will be free to work anywhere. All too often, the decision to live one place instead of another is driven by the quality of life, but by the proximity to the office or factory. Few workers look forward to a long commute, and they make their housing choices in part to avoid that daily stress. When the home and workplace become one, employees are free to live anywhere they like, and that could be a boon for rural areas. When home and workplace become one, employees are free to live anywhere they like, and that could be a boom for rural areas, city centers, and everything in between. Freed from the daily commute, workers will enjoy newfound psychological freedom, basing their housing choices on an improved quality of life. Cities can become greener. Instead of being conduits for cars and centers of global commerce, cities can become cleaner, greener, and less congested. If telecommuting becomes universal, entire downtowns could be transformed into green spaces, complete with shady spots for sitting and wide pathways for walking, running, and biking. This may seem like a far-off utopia, but the transformation has already begun in smaller ways around the world, from Paris and London to New York, and even car-loving Los Angeles. City centers are being transformed to be more people-friendly, and that was before the current work-at-home revolution. Working can become a more communal experience. One big downside to working at home is social isolation, something people are all too familiar with in light of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Loneliness and feelings of isolation can turn telecommuting from a dream come true into a daily nightmare. But there are some solutions on the horizon. Once cities have been transformed from urban traffic movers to green spaces, telecommuters can take their laptops and their projects into the great outdoors. From working on the local coffee shop to hanging out with their fellow workers in a downtown park, telecommuters can fight the isolation, boost their serotonin levels, and even enhance their productivity. Businesses saving money could translate into higher worker pay. Okay, this one may be a long shot, but competitive pressures and economic conditions could still make it happen. The business benefits of telecommuting have long been established, from less money spent on office space to lower costs for everything from electricity to trash collection. In the future, when telecommuting is the norm instead of the exception, these monetary savings could theoretically be passed on to the men and women who helped make it happen. Companies could spread the wealth in a number of ways, from direct wage raises to subsidies for internet access to free computer equipment and mobile devices. Only time will tell if the current wave of telecommuting will be permanent, or if shifts in the way people work will usher in a new age of utopia for environmentalists and others who care about the earth. And while not all of these things may come to pass, there is reason for hope. In the end, the future that is created will depend on the collective action of everyone, and every individual worker can do their part. The trend toward telecommuting has been going on for quite some time, but the trickle of at-home workers has recently become a flood. Now that the telecommuting revolution is well underway, many business experts predict that working from home is now the new normal. And with so many environmental and psychological benefits of telecommuting, it is already hard to envision a return to the old way of life.